everybody, and welcome into Blue Jays Today, where your boys always have something to say about the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm your host, Nicholas Blalo.
And I'm your host, Adam Peddle. And today, guys, we are reacting and breaking down the Bo Bichette news, where he has hit the 10-day IL due to a knee sprain. It's happening at the worst time, ladies and gentlemen. We've got 3 weeks left in the season, and our best hitter is on the IL. Can the Blue Jays survive? How are we feeling? Let's do a temperature check. And also, we have some other news about Anthony Santander and what the update is on him. Before we get into it, though, make sure to hit that like button and smash that subscribe button. This news came out yesterday, right before we're about to go live for the game, which is an awesome game, which we're going to talk about in this video. But then we heard the news about Bo Bichette, and my goodness, that was a disgusting pit in my stomach.
Yeah, it definitely didn't feel good. And for a large part of yesterday's ball game, we were missing him, right?
Yeah.
I think it was like 6 or 7 innings. The Toronto Blue Jays were getting collectively no hit by the Houston Astros yesterday. And again, does Bo Bichette get a hit in that regard? I don't know, but certainly having him in that lineup would make it feel that much more deeper and just have so much more of a threat. He's obviously hit the 10-day IL. Joey Loperfido, the Italian stallion, coming up to try to save the day. What can he do? Well, regardless of what he can do, I got a feeling it's not going to be like what Bo Bichette was doing. Because when Bo Bichette was with this team this year, I mean, this guy was an absolute animal, everybody. Leading MLB in hits.
Yeah.
OPS of 840. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's one of the best OPSs that Bo Bichette has had at this point of his of a season, right? So just across the board, phenomenal stuff from Bo. And he was actually getting better as the year was going on.
Yeah, he won the J of the Month by Blue Jays Today. Shout out. He was batting like 380 or something in August. It was stupid. Yeah, this is effectively his best season ever, and I kind of feel bad because I love personal accolades for my players, my Blue Jays, and he was leading the league in hits. It still is currently right now, but 10 days on the IL might miss out on that.
Turner is up on his heels, I believe.
He is, right? And again, like, we've been struggling with runners in scoring position lately. Well, this guy, like, is the best with runners in scoring position this year and on the Blue Jays, of course. 381 batting average with an OPS of 1,000. That's that 4-hitter that we've been missing. And like you said last night, we were missing that for a large part of it. And it makes me worried because we are heading into an important stretch right now. We are 3 games above the Yankees. We did have the big win. They lost last night. But still, like, you don't never know what tomorrow's going to bring you. And you would feel more comfortable having that rock in your lineup.
100%. Now, all of you who are clicking on this video, you already know how good Bo Bichette is. You don't need us to remind you, but I think you're all here wondering, can we survive? Or is the Toronto Blue Jays going to be able to make it through this tough stretch? Because again, Yankees right on our heels right now, 18 games left of baseball. You got to imagine Bo Bichette is going to be missing at least half of those ball games. That's just a rough estimate, but if everything goes according to plan, I think that it would be roughly about half of those baseball games. So you're not going to have him for that Astros series. You're not going to have him for that Baltimore series. You're probably not going to have him for Tampa Bay.
For most of it, because he could come back on the 17th with the 10-day IL retroactive on the 7th. So, like, he could, but probably not. You might want to push him and wait him to Kansas City. Probably the best case scenario,
Yeah. More likely it's going to be a Kansas City thing right there. So, it's definitely going to be a tough stretch without Bo Bichette. And, I mean, yesterday, I would feel so much worse if we hadn't gone on to win that game.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, did not feel like Toronto deserved to win yesterday's ball game. Like, Astros were playing a much better game than us pretty much the entirety of the time, but we were getting contributions from other individuals and from other aspects of our team. And I think that is going to be the most important thing about making it through this stretch. Shane Bieber didn't have his best stuff. We were still able to hold the Houston Astros to 3 runs. So without Bo Bichette right now, the rest of the offense is going to pick it up, which I know you want to bring up momentarily. But also, I got to see that pitching staff. They got to have a big time right now, because it's been a while since they've kind of carried the offense.
And got to give a lot of credit to the bullpen. They had a good series against the Yankees. They showed up yesterday and limited the Astros that were getting hit after hit after hit off of Shane Bieber. And we held them close enough for the Blue Jays to come back. But like you were alluding to right there, you need contribution still from the rest of the offense. And luckily, the Blue Jays this season, I broke this down in the video before, we have one of the deepest 14 men position players rosters in all of baseball. All those 14 guys have had at one point an OPS plus over 100, and they still are doing very good. And John Schneider brings it up right here when talking about Bo Bichette. It's the mentality the whole year. Next man up. Who's going to get the big hit today? And, that'll make things a lot easier if you can get that kind of contribution. And we got that, like you alluded to yesterday, when you had, IKF coming up in the 9th with the big hit, scoring 2 runs. And then you had Tyler Heineman putting the ball in play, getting the job done. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. with a 3-hit performance. So if we can keep that going for at least the next week and a half, then we should be hopefully limiting the damage of missing Bo Bichette.
Look, what's the solution here? You need the rest of your ball team to pick up the slack. So that means Guerrero staying hot, and he has been incredible recently. I mean,
he's been awesome.
Over the last 7 days, Fangraphs has him as the #1 player in all of MLB. I mean, take that with a grain of salt because I don't fully always trust what
batting 600,
but he is batting
over the last 7 days.
So Vladdy has been absolutely nuts, and you kind of need to see that continue, right? Like, this is where if I ever wanted Vladdy to earn his $500 million, it's this stretch of baseball. It's leading up to the playoffs and holding on to that bye, because all of this, why it's a bad time, well, we are only 3 games up from the New York Yankees right now. They have a significantly easier schedule than the Toronto Blue Jays do. They're going to be finishing their season off. I'm pretty confident it goes Baltimore, or I think it goes Minnesota, Baltimore, White Sox, Baltimore.
Right.
And that's just like 13 games there where the Yankees are probably going to be picking up at least 70% of those wins right there. So the Toronto Blue Jays, they're going to need to have Vladdy pop up. They're going to need to have that bottom of the lineup do well. If IKF is going to be in, keep coming up with clutch hits, guy. And then honestly, this is the time where the pitching staff for me has got to get back to being a good pitching staff, because for majority of the season, it's been offense picking up the pitching. Offense picking up the pitching.
Most of the season, honestly.
Most of the season, right? Like you said, recently, the runners in scoring position hasn't been great, and now we're missing out on Bo Bichette. So this is where, if you are Kevin Gausman, if you are Jose Barrios, if you are one of those individuals, this is the time where those guys have been paying it forward all year. You got to return the favor right here. We got to be limiting the runs for the next couple weeks.
And there's no better time to get hot from a pitching side of things than right now, because obviously we're talking about Bo Bichette, but also we're leading into postseason right now. Like, they have been rock solid. No, they haven't. They have been icy cold in that bullpen. So if they can turn it around, they have been lately, and keep that up, that's going to provide some good insurance for the postseason as well. Then you get Bo Bichette back. Hopefully he doesn't skip a beat, and then there he is being Bo Bichette. Now, we got one more piece of injury news to give you guys right now. Anthony Santander, we heard an update about him yesterday, and it wasn't a very good one. His rehab stint that we all were kind of speculating would happen soon. You got Buffalo Bison season ending in a week or so. You thought it would happen soon. Maybe he pops a couple homers. Maybe he comes back and he's a little bit exciting where, we got this guy in the 7-hole now that could pop a few in the postseason. Well, it's being delayed, his rehab stint, due to back tightness. Now, John Schneider thinks it's not a big delay. It's not going to be a big problem. They should get him back in a rehab stint shortly, but that's still not a lot of runway for Anthony Santander to come back, Nick. It feels like we might miss out on Anthony Santander for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I'm kind of back to where I was, and I'll be honest, I never even really jumped onto the Anthony Santander is going to come back and be incredible train like a lot of individuals were, because it just always felt unrealistic for me. If he does come back and then you inject this 44 home run hitter in your lineup, assuming he is playing at a high caliber, I am over the moon.
Right,
that's
right.
awesome. But we are talking upside ceiling if,
it's all ifs.
If that happens.
Yeah.
The guy's back is hurt now. He wasn't swinging a bat for majority of the season. He still hasn't done the rehab assignment here. So as far as I'm concerned, I mean, if he does come back, maybe it's going to be like deep in the postseason. If he wants to come back at this point,
boy.
Right? And if that happens, awesome. Because I assume if he does come back, then he's feeling good and he's swinging the bat well. I'm just not going to be holding my breath for it, man. For right now, I'm trusting the team that we have. I think that you're going to have Bo Bichette come back on the 17th or the 18th or the 19th, something like that. And that, for me, is kind of like the postseason roster. These are our guys. This is who we're riding with. They've been with us all season long. Yeah. Whereas Anthony Santander has not.
Yeah, the first if that you brought up there is he needs to hit, if he plays well in AAA. If he plays well in AAA, then we can consider bringing him back up. He's not even playing in AAA right now, so we got to wait for that domino. But I'm with you, too, where I don't really want to disturb the mojo of this team, because for the most part of the season, we've been arguing like, oh, well, we don't want to make any trades at the deadline because what about the vibes of this team? Like, we don't want to disturb how good they've been. It's the same argument you could have right here. Why would you throw in a guy who's missed 4 to 5 months of the season to inject him back in the lineup unless he's going crazy in AAA? Which can we bank on that if we only get like a 4 or 5 game sample size? I don't know. I don't feel comfortable.
It's tough. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a tough one for them to navigate. In conclusion, everybody, to kind of answer the question, can we survive this stretch without Bo Bichette? It's harder. You know, you got put behind the 8 ball a little bit right there. But look, good championship caliber teams, they are going to have injuries. And let's be completely honest with ourselves. I know that Anthony Santander has been gone pretty much all season long. But other than that injury, we've got pretty favorable luck.
Oh, yeah.
When you're thinking about all of the rest of MLB, like Toronto Blue Jays have been pretty favorable. It is kind of like the scariest injury update that we've had in a while. Championship caliber teams have got to be able to weather the storm. I think that we have the pieces necessary to do it. I think that John Schneider's onto something when he says that it's the next man up, and that's been the story of this team all year long. Let's keep seeing it, and let's have that pitching staff take that next step right here, and then we'll be perfectly fine.
And give me more Davis Schneider. But guys, you let us know your thoughts in the comments down below about the Bo Bichette injuries and the Anthony Santander injuries. Make sure to hit that like button, smash that subscribe button. Also, hit that hype button if you've got it updated on your YouTube browser. It is $4 a month to become a YouTube member. Shout out and thank you to all of our current YouTube members. You guys are awesome.
Thanks so much for watching, everybody. And as always,
go Chase, go!